Okay, let's do this. Tracer. Enemy backline is on Ilios, but he is going to be able to get Zen Orbs, so he can mirror the enemy Tracer pretty easily. Monkey's also there to pressure. Yeah, all sorts of funs in games. Oh, he lost the mini. That kind of sucks. So he's just kind of... Okay, sick. And how does they, like... So that 180 was really big there because that forced the recall, even though the enemy Tracer actually got the mini first. And I was like, oh shoot, the enemy Tracer got the mini first, but somehow he still wins this trade. And then he's cleared Tracer. He manages to get Harmony from Buntan, whoever the flip that is. And the big thing here is that he's like won this space of the map. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because now his Zen and Hanzo have don't need to be scared of like legit anything except monkey dives now. There's no Tracer follow-up or there's no Tracer Pincer. So if I'm KEVSTER here, I think you keep pursuing the duel. I think you keep pursuing the duel as long as you don't end. You play cover, you play high ground or whatever, you play around health packs, but you can keep pursuing the duel. You have an advantage, so now you keep pushing it. Keep doing the wrong POV. That's unfortunate. He'll go back, get Harmony or that was kind of an int. He needs to be careful. That's like the second time he's peeked in front of like the ranged DPS to like get orbs, so he needs to be careful. So I actually think this is a mistake. I don't know that it's a mistake, but I do feel like he was already in a position to easily mark the Tracer, and now he's repositioning completely instead of just simply going to where he landed and just going back and mirroring Tracer again. I think that's the more important thing here, because yes, he could poke out the monkey here, but he's not really in a good position to do so. I mean, well, okay, that's not fair. He is in a good position to do so, but I think that I would mirror the Tracer over mirroring monkey, especially considering he was already in a good position to mirror Tracer, and he had to reposition to mirror monkey. It's like, hey, do I want eggs or do I want bacon? And the eggs are right here and the bacon's across the room. It's like, why would I go across the room when I have eggs right here, right? So it's like, if you like both equally. And I mean, look at what happens immediately afterwards. Because he's not mirroring Tracer, Tracer ends up popping off. And like, it's so easy for him to mirror Tracer with Harmony Orb advantage. It's like, it's more consistent in value and it's easier to do. So I don't understand why he's not pursuing this. It doesn't make any sense. Like he mirrors initially, wins the space, goofs up a little bit by peeking McCree on it, and then just completely quits and leaves. And then ends up trying to mirror Monkey, failing because mirroring Monkey is a lot harder to do because Monkey usually plays closer to his support so they can mark you or shoot you. Like the Zarya goes in and just like gets rid of him, and now he's a complete waste of space. So this is actually a pretty big mistake for him. And like, you see what we're doing? Like, hey, we're like, look how much ult charge we've built, but we've done nothing. We've really done nothing. Whoops. The alarm's done. Like, we've done nothing because we've built ult charge and stuff, but because our Zen was gone, and this Tracer has continued to survive. This Tracer, look at how much this Tracer has done. Whoever Gare the Bale is. You need to remove that. You mark the Tracer. We have a flippin' Ana Zen backline. If Tracer gets anywhere near that, they're dead. They're toast. Because even if they don't die, they have to blow all their cooldowns and all their attention to survive the Tracer. Oh. Gareth Bale, sorry. Who's Gareth Bale? Gareth Bale. Oh, he's a footballer. Okay. So I'm not exactly the type of guy to poke fun at anybody's appearance, right? Like, I'm not really in a great safe standing point. But I look up Gareth Bale, and the first two pictures I see is this, where his neck is legitimately wider than his face, entire head. At least that's how it looks. And then this one, so I'm like, right. Maybe we should call him Gare the Bale. I think that would be a better name. But yeah, he needs to mirror the Tracer. He's got an Honest in backline. He mirrors the Tracer, then just completely abandons it instead of like actually properly mirroring. Because like if he's gonna get poked out from here, fine, they just mirror the Tracer from down here. Tracer hunting. Shh, very quiet. We're hunting Tracers. I've never done that voice in my life, and I'm never gonna do it again. Like, okay, so we're on a brig now, so like you can be a little more flexible about what you do, right? You can be a little more flexible what you do because your backline's a lot less squishy. So you just need to control an angle. You can choose this angle, you can choose that angle, because it doesn't really matter anymore, right? There's not like a bad or a good thing. Molf gets pulsed here. I don't know. Like I guess he sees an opportunity, he goes for it. The timing is a little early, but he sees an opportunity without personal, and he's sub like 400 HP. So yeah, sure. Like that's the kind of situation where he's going too early, but it pays off because he just sees a crazy opportunity. So like, yeah, go for it. When am I gonna review Backbone in stream? I don't know. Pigs fly. Okay, he needs to deepen because he's won this flank. So now he's won this flank. So now he needs to deepen. Now, how he deepens is really important because depending on the comp that you're playing, you would do this differently. If you're playing into like Reaper, Sombra, Moira, you would do like this. You would just play like this and just get packed like this, right? Because you're playing at a superior range over the Moira comp, okay? Versus a higher poke comp, you need to close the distance without taking the spam at all and not even giving away your position. So what KEVSTER's probably going to do is he's going to go in here and play around this angle here. Now he has to obviously be aware of flash, but he has a much easier time beating Gare the Bale in MCLP1 if he comes from that angle. I don't think he'll come from this angle. Oh, he will. Okay, never mind. Forget what I said because these guys are actually pushing inside here. So the result is still the same, to where he can close the distance without being shot. What is Gare the Bale doing? Poggers. And he's just putting pressure here, right? He doesn't have to get any kills. He just has to keep consistent pressure. His positioning here has made these guys stay inside these cage, and he's going to be really hard for them to get out again. He's checking spawn. And again, like just bullying the McCree. The McCree doesn't get a good angle. And they start to push out his angle with Zarya again, so he has to back off. He was going to get packed, and then he's just going to go push out again. Oh, he recalls. Uh-oh. Why does he recall? Does he get caught without blinks? I'm not sure why he recalled there. Let me look at that one more time. I think he swung a little wide, got a little antsy because he swung a little too wide, didn't get healed. Thought maybe like, okay, maybe they land a headshot on me. He should have just sat here and just gotten pack, or gone back here and gotten pack, or gone back here, gotten mini. Recall is a lot more expensive. And now he has to back up. Classic. I love it when people that don't know how to play brig play brig. So he's not going to over pursue. Now, where's his backline set up? I feel like if he had the time, he could reset up on high ground. I don't think he has the time though. He's looking for Tracer. Yeah, he's not going to over pursue though, because again, it just doesn't matter as much. Your backline isn't as squishy, so there's less value. Ooh, bless. Oni, how? Right. So he almost has pulse, and when Tracers have pulse, the whole like mirror versus like dive backline thing generally leans towards dive backline because you have more threat on the backline with pulse than you do on the enemy Tracer with pulse. So like I think we'll see him probably play this really slow, really careful, track the status of Zarya bubbles, and then go in at some point in time and stick one of these 3 targets. That's my prediction. And again, you see how like Remember the whole shepherding analogy, chat? You're like, he's not doing anything. Well, he really is, though. But do you see the enemy backline? This McCree would love to swing wide here and pop off here, but he can't because he's going to run into Tracer. This Ana would even like to swing wide here and like chunk a nade back here, but she can't because she's going to run into KEVSTER. So it's like the whole concept of Tracer is like sometimes you're not going to be getting value through just actually killing people, but just holding an angle, holding a flank, and just defending it, preventing them from going there. And if they do go there, it takes like a Zarya and a Brig pushing you out, right? It takes a lot of resources to clear you. So he's just going to farm. Yeah, there's the farm, and here comes the pulse. He doesn't know the status of... oh, he might not even stick this. This fight might not be lost. He might not stick this. Oh, they're going to nano. And so he's going to look for pulse. And that's just all micro. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, get wrecked, you absolute peasant mouth breather trash can. You worthless worm. Human trash bag just got demolished. All right, so like let's break down this actual engagement a little bit, okay? So he's asking for nano, right? And to be honest, this is a bit of a high risk play. Like you would never see this in like scrims. Like this is an idiot. Who's abs? I don't know who abs. Man, I don't know who these people are. Okay, this is like not something that you do in scrims. But in rank, you know, people are like communicating less, so this stuff has more of a chance of popping off. So he has 2 blinks. Oh my gosh, the cat here. He blinks in, blinks around, and then 180 blink. Now that blink right there is designed to dodge flash because he doesn't know the status of flash. So like let's look at this from a third-person perspective. Blink 1, blink 2. We're expecting flash right here. Now this guy actually flashes early, but you'd expect flash to be attempted here, which is why you see blink. He turns the attention, and then as soon as he turns the attention, it's 180 behind. Right? You see that? Now, my one nitpick... Wait, do we miss the melee? Holy cow. Because you don't want to melee unless it's actually like a finishing blow, or the 30 damage is like actually substantial compared to what you do otherwise. Yeah, so this melee is really probably not the best. He probably could have just reloaded faster, and then he would have finished the kill. Like, the finisher is what you want to do with the melee. So the melee there is not great. I mean, he bursts and then finishes his clip, so sure. He sticks, recalls, shoots shield. You notice he's kind of leaning towards the side. He's like leaning towards cover. Now he has to make a really important decision here about where he's going to blink. And he does the really ballsy thing, to be perfectly honest. He goes N. Now, this is ballsy because he has no recall and he's only got the 1 blink. To be honest with you, if Abs should beat this. Abs should beat this. Because he's got no blinks. This should be insta bash dead. But Abs messes it up. And he does get bashed. He misses the whip shot. And then he misses the whip shot here as well. So, like, unfortunate. That, like, to be honest with you, I don't think he should have blinked in like that. That was a little bit of disrespect. He should have blinked out, grabbed mini, and or just chilled and waited for him to get, like, at least 2 blinks up. And again, do you notice how he's just, like... I'm actually not sure what he's doing now. But you notice how he's just puppy guarding the side of the map. Like, he's just puppy guarding the side of the map. If you're gonna win the side of the map, it's gonna take your Brig plus Tracer to clear me out, right? Like, that's all it is. Because again, he's not mirroring Tracer to mirror Tracer because mirroring Tracer is good now that we have a Zen backline. No, he's like, my backline's not as squishy, but if I can still keep the entire enemy team on this side of the map, that's good. If I force this McCree to all stay clumped with this team, and my McCree can do this, and my Hog can flank here without being pressured, then that's good. You guys see what I'm saying? Now, I'm curious to see what he's going to be doing now, because it doesn't... I think he should just continue to do what he's doing. I hear nano, but that doesn't change anything. Yeah, this isn't it. That's a hard in. Hard in. He holds the angle. He controls the angle. He's bullied. Brig and Tracer out. All he needs to do here is just keep doing this. In fact, if anything, he would go pressure Brig. Go force a rally out of Brig. Farm another pulse. Keep your angular pressure here. Make it so that these three guys are like tied up with Tracer in the back, and that your team can follow up Nano Monkey. I don't know why he's going in towards Nano Monkey. It makes no sense whatsoever, because look at what happens when he does that. He's in the middle of the fight, which is bad as Tracer. But now he's also opened up the enemy Tracer a clear angle to initiate from a flank. And also this McCree, if he's not killing Tracer, he could be swinging wide and flanking this way. Yeah, so this is no good. This is a feed. And you can see it. It feels awful. Now he's on the flank. That's some nice tracking there, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't care about Brig Bash as much because he has recall, so like, oh, don't ego this, please. Your team's in spawn, mate. Okay, so now we're gonna set up the flank. So that was a big feat from KEVSTER there. Yoinkies. I mean, it's just set up from a flank, right? He takes the high ground because it's easy staging. Blinks in. He probably doesn't even know that the McCree's gonna high noon, but it's a perfect angle onto backline. And when he recalls, he's gonna recall right back onto high ground. And he's in a perfect position to continue to push. Even if he misses the pulse there, he's gonna force a ton of resources, force a lot of attention, buy his team a lot of space, and then he's gonna be able to continue to leverage from his angle. So you can see how KEVSTER, like, he's either denying the enemy team angles 90% of the time, or he's taking an angle and using it. One or the other. And just his existence is pressure alone. And you saw the one time where KEVSTER was like inting and feeding is when he had a good angle and he gave it up for whatever reason. It's just Tracer fundamentals, that's all. And so like right now, like who does he need to prioritize? Can he shoot Monkey? Yeah, he can shoot Monkey, but is he gonna actually like get good pressure on Monkey? Not by himself, no. So instead, let's force Tracer recall, right? That's gonna be more valuable to my team. Or Bubbles. Big. Much more reasonable to pressure that. And again here, do you see that? Not getting the kill, force flash, force attention, and he's back in now afterwards. Big melee kill. That's how you use melee, chat. Right there. That burst before he gets healed. Again, does he need to kill the Moira? No. Righto. So, solid play from KEVSTER. I think the ego on the Brig was kind of suspect. Like, he didn't need to do that. A better Brig beats him there. I mean, I don't know how good Ab's Brig is, but a Brig that doesn't choke that hits that there. And then also he gave up his angle unnecessarily. And the first thing he also needed to be mirroring when he's playing Zen Ana. I don't know why he gave up the Tracer mirror, because that exposed. He put him on a worse angle, wasted time, wasted resources, and exposed his backline unnecessarily. When should you flank his Tracer though? Always. Always. Now, how hard you flank, like hard backline versus soft angle left, soft angle right, depends a little bit. But you should never be on top of your team as Tracer. Almost ever. So this is pretty normal. You'll see Tracers play around this side of the map, this mega. You'll also sometimes see Tracers going through this way. I assume he's not going this way because this is like... I'm not sure why he would go this way. Maybe it's because he believes this side of the map to be more important. Okay, there's your answer why. He's gonna go because he needs access to high ground. Because obviously good angle and control here. But also if they run a Widowmaker, he needs to be the one dealing with that. Like you can see his Lucio roll out here. They're scared of Widowmaker, Ashe, something like this. And this position gives perfect leverage to immediately go into that there. And so now he can use this as a staging ground to go wherever he wants to go. You see this? Now, like look at the surround. Now, obviously, I'm a little concerned about who is this in here? The Lucio's in here needs to be careful, and the Rhine to a lesser extent. But if you look at like Blue's map control here, ignore Garth versus Gare the Bale. They've got 1, 2, 3. Like this is exactly, it's like surround sound, right? Now. The Tracer is also going to get a lot of value, so let's see what happens for the enemy Tracer. But like this is kind of where we want to be here. The only problem here is like the range is not great. We're baiting a lot of attention. Very nice. Yeah, we just pincered them really well. We pincered them, and Onigod was able to stay alive against the Tracer, and that's all that matters. Garth Vader. Gar the Bale. Gar the Bale. So just staying high ground here. He's gonna recall early here because it's really doesn't want to like go back and peek his Ana. He wants to keep this position. So he probably should not have peeked that at all. That was a mistake. That forces recall, but the recall itself wasn't a mistake. Again, he's peeking this. I don't like that at all. Like, you really should just chill. Like, don't peek, because it's not so much that like letting them know you're there. They already know you're there. But like, why even bother poking before the fight even starts, where you're not in a position to get packed? This is a mistake. So like, let's see where his team is going to kill box. It looks like his team wants to fight here-ish. He's going too early, man. He's just like kind of like, he's not really respecting the enemy team. Like, that was kind of risky there, and he's losing HP for it too. Because like, you're like, oh, he's farming pulls, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's worth. He can just chase monkey, yeah. So a little bit of disrespect from KEVSTER that I'm not loving. Like a little bit of just kind of like sloppy staging, where he kind of gives away his position and gets a little greedy for poke, and then the whole thing with the brick. Just he doesn't really respect his opponents as much, and there's good and bad things about that as well. You know, obviously the lack of respect means he's more willing to go for more good aggressive plays, but like you're kind of seeing the bad side of it as well. Nobody's in a position to do this. Molfig on ball. If I remember correctly, Molfig's actually a pretty good ball. Alright, so this is just kind of goofy. Okay, now again, angle control. What like I mean, I guess we're just gonna play this hyper aggressive, but yeah. Now he's probably gonna look for pulse on our Kree. Here's the pulse. Pulses! Get rolled! Because the problem with this... Can you guys tell me the problem? Well, I mean, besides the fact this team is kind of inting. Here's the problem. By the time he gets there for the pulse, he's already down 2. Which means that the entire enemy team can just, like, look at him. Like, look. Like, 1, 2, 3, right? So it's not just the fact that he's missed pulse, but, like, the entire enemy team is in a position to peel him off with no distractions. Like, look at his team. So he either needed to be there sooner, whereas, like, Zarya was actually doing something, or he just needed to be like, all right, my Zarya is inting, I'm going to play around here instead. And he did neither. He came in after his Zarya had already died, but but also before he could have just reset. So he was like, he had to pick or choose. Should I try and lower your sense for Tracer? No, that's fine. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about sense, but your sense seems fine. Okay, clear monkey, going high ground. He's spy checking, right? Basically spy checking. He's checking for enemy Tracer. Recalling to go back high ground because he doesn't want to distract us on a mid-fight. Now, probably what you'll see here is really what KEVSTER needs to be doing is wrapping back this way. So I'm curious to see what we're going to do. He's going to chase Lucio. I don't think that's the play. Because remember, it's about return on investment, because there's a lot of things that you could be doing. You could be, remember we talked about marking monkey versus mirroring Tracer. As long as you're on an angle, you're not enting. But KEVSTER here is not particularly on an angle, and he's also chasing a target that is not particularly good at distracting. In other words, he can go in and duel a Tracer, a Lucio a little bit, and like that's some value, but it's better to go for the Ana McCree. Why? Not because the Ana McCree are necessarily easier to kill, but because they demand, when you shoot them, it demands more attention from them than shooting Lucio. Like Lucio could just sit and heal her and just pepper at you a little bit, right? If you shoot at the Ana McCree like this, they have to actively turn around and probably blow cooldowns at you as well. And so that's a lot better for your team. They don't have to worry about sleep or nade or flash or McCree damage. And then what happens when you do this? Your team doesn't have to worry about Lucio spam. Like that's just not worth anything. This is much more juicy. And it also is put on in a better position as well because he's able to get the enemy team to turn around. More angular pressure. So I don't like what KEVSTER's doing. KEVSTER sometimes abandons flanks to chase stuff down main sometimes, and I don't see the reasoning why. It happened on first with Well with a monkey. This is not good. And now he's just stuck in Narnia and he's not doing anything. And he almost dies as well. It's like even the best, like in the best in the West, make mistakes. Okay. Probably gonna check again. Yeah. Probably gonna just clear Tracer. He constantly has to go back and like peek his Ana. Uh-oh. Gear the Veil, the greatest Tracer in the history of the land. I think I would have liked to see him continue to pursue the duel with Tracer a little bit. Ask like Khan to go with you, or ask Huddles to go with you, because like I know KEVSTER doesn't talk a lot, but like could have asked for some resources to help clear this Tracer out, because this Tracer's just been able to stay in this side of the map, and like you're not gonna be able to like win this fight if you just let the Tracer stay there. Yeah, he's getting marked. He's not getting resources. The way to beat a Tracer mark is to get more resources than the Tracer has on the flank. Or just be mechanically better, or both. Like right now, it's gonna be really, like again, a recall because he doesn't want to demand resources. It's gonna be really, really hard for his team to win this without like a Lucio coming up here with him. He needs his Lucio to come up here with him. If he can get his Kree to, I don't think a Kree can make it up here because you got to go this way. But like his Lucio should be up here helping him. That's a crazy sleep from Khan. And why you want to be careful about peeking early. He's probably like, hey, 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 watch out, watch out, watch out, Tracer, Tracer, Tracer. Oh, they got her, nice. That's a stupid stick. So I say stupid for two reasons. One, because it's mechanically nuts. Like that's a ridiculously hard stick to land. Like the way he was moving there. It's stupid though because we had Grav. We had Grav. You could chill this out, and the stick that you get elsewhere ends up doing nothing. You could have waited out Grav and like forced beat and then pulsed afterwards, or even heck pulse the Grav and just burn through it. But like we end up sticking air. Oh. But also, he's just like really, he's not getting resources to clear this. Like, I know it's 80% right now, but like there's just no reason for Lucio not to be up here. There's just no reason for Lucio to not be up here. Like, or getting some resources to clear this. Because once again, I just see like KEVSTER, like now we're on a good angle, but it's like took us so long to get there. He really, really struggled to get on the angle. Wait, we win this? No, we don't. Touches again, recall. There's no way. Pulse. Whiff. Oh, easy. Never doubted. There's no way. That's hilarious. Alright, so big things for KEVSTER. His angle positioning for the most part was fine. But I would like to see him, like, I would have liked to have seen him utilize the angles a little bit better and not forcing stuff outside of his team's kill box. Like, the stuff on the high ground, giving away his position, getting a little greedy, a little bit disrespectful. And then also, if he was able to, like, ask for resources to clear out flanks when retaking space, like, the enemy Tracer's mirroring him, he needs resources to clear that out. But yeah, like, obviously, great Tracer. I hope you guys learned something from there.